Quite surreal, another Sunday, ain't me Charlie? So yesterday, as predicted, we had a no-show, and I said to Mark, funny enough, in the morning, I bet this person doesn't turn up, and yeah, so annoying. Anyway, hey, obviously don't get a refund or anything like that, but you're sort of hanging around, you're thinking, you know, are they going to turn up, are they not going to turn up, and anyway, it's where the mop flops. So I've got a bit of blue sky today. And then apparently a bit of rain this afternoon, but if this wind blows things off a little bit, because of all the horrible weather we've had, I might jump out on mower this afternoon and get a little bit of the next week's grass cutting all started, because Monday, again, we could have some rain, but then going into next week, it's all looking okay. So my last vlog, I did ask if anybody had any possible questions for me, and I've got a couple, which I'll try and answer very, very shortly. I'm just going to run over, go and check the loos, and everything's all okay. We've had two power cuts, two fuses trip over the last couple of days as well, which is really unusual. So yeah, let's crack on. Right, the sun has got its hat on. Hip 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 hooray. Everybody's checked out apart from the pod, which I need to do. That one's running a bit late. Loos, toilets, showers, all done. And what I'm going to do now, I've got a couple of people coming on this afternoon. I've got one for 2 weeks, pitch number 7. So, sorry, I've got a little piece of paper here for tonight's, not tonight, today arrivals. So I'm going to go and give these a very quick mow now, whilst I've got chance, so I'm not disturbing them once they're pitched up. Pitter patter of rain on a Sunday afternoon here at the nurseries in Mumby in Lincolnshire. They said there's going to be light showers. Fortunately, I have managed to mow the pitches that are on for this afternoon's arrivals. I don't know if this is picking this up, but this is yeah, pretty torrential. So yeah, I'm an hour behind where I should be with this pod at the moment as well, but at least I'm drying here. So out comes the furniture polish. Bed's made up, things are in the washing machine. So currently dodging showers, I'm trying to cut grass. Just having another downpour, and you can see the window, and there's a bit of blue sky ahead, so slow progress. And again, because the grass is grown so fast at the moment, I'm on the Husqvarna mower, the problem mower that doesn't like wet grass. Right, so what was it now? The other day I said, if you've got any questions for me about being a campsite warden, fire away. So I have got a couple that have come in. I've got one from, I'm just making some notes, Dennis, and one from Keith 40. So I'll answer them both, but not together. I'll answer the other one shortly. So Keith 40, he says, hello Neil, you said we could ask a question. Please do ask any questions you want about what I do for a living, what I do, well, not just for a living, what I do on my days off, and what it's like to live on a campsite full time, live in a caravan full time. And the question he's asking, I'm just going to load up my phone to read the question, and my fingerprint's not coming up because it's wet. Do I have set hours as a warden? No. So my role is probably a little bit different. So I have a salary. I have a X amount that I'm paid each week, and I don't have set hours. So I don't work 9 till 4. And if you are a warden, that isn't really in the remit. So I'd start work normally 9 o'clock. That's when I'm in the office. Just hang on a minute. Sorry. So I start work at 9 o'clock, which is quite important because I'm here for anybody that's departing. Basically, we don't ask people to leave before 9 o'clock. So I then hang around the reception area very, very close, so I can keep an eye that everybody that's checking out does check out, and I get their these little things, the fobs for the barrier, back off them, and wherever possible I like to give them a jolly nice farewell and goodbye. Have they had a good time, any problems and things like that. So normally between 9 and 11 I'm in the reception area, certainly for probably the first hour in the office, because I then get the afternoon's arrivals already. And this is going to sound really bonkers, and I've mentioned this before, but I also, so between 9 and 10 o'clock, I look at the day after, and I get the day after departure list out and the day after arrivals list out. So I'm always, again, 24 hours in front. So if the internet goes down or the IT system we have goes down, I've got some kind of a manual backup. And then I go then into 11 o'clock is sort of facility clean time. That's normally half an hour to an hour. And then I finish whenever I finish, basically. So once the day's check-ins are in, I can finish. So sometimes that might be as early as 3 o'clock, as was the case last night. So nobody should be here till after 6:30. But our last check-in last night was just before 6:30. And then I had one, was it Friday? Last Friday, where somebody rolled up at 8 o'clock at night, and they shouldn't be doing that. So no, I don't have any fixed hours. Currently, because Mark's here, I'm able to get 2 days off, which are 2 consecutive days. But no, not fixed hours. And sometimes you can end up getting a really wet day, and you can't do any work outside. So there's a certain amount of sitting around, dwelling. But because there's always, generally speaking, stuff going on, and say this grass cut takes sort of 2 days to get round. So you've got to make hay while the sun shines. So no, I don't work fixed hours at all. And I think any campsite warden shouldn't really be working fixed hours as such. It's quite rare that can happen, because you've got to be flexible. Right, let's try again. Blue sky. Actually, I left the mower out before, and a massive load of rain to dry the seat. Right, let's try again. See how we go. This is what I'm trying to avoid. You see the stones here on the grass cuttings? Evil. Oh, little fellas all popping out now on the grass. As well as all of these other ones, little ones, and there's also a big fairy ring up over on the seasonal pitch as well. We'll have a look at later. We might have to call in Killer Dave. And so I'm just cutting here again, and look at the state of this moles. Jordan Bennett, man. Yikes, and they've got to keep the Husqvarna away from that soil as well. It's end up in a knackered belt. I cut this 4 or 5 days ago. Anyway, gonna give all here another cut. All this rain and the heat, it's frantic. Yeah. Moles. In a minute we'll look at the situation. At least it's not ripping all the sides of it and all that fungi there. Right, keep going, Neil, keep going. Right, I'm just doing back of the lodges, and when Rasha hears the mower, she pops her head out. Hello Rash, how are you doing? What are you doing? Cheeky dog. Right, squeezing between these, and I'm probably going to call that a day then. This grass is definitely a little bit too damp really, to be honest, but we'll do what we can do. So we've got more rain due in, and then later on in the week it should get better. This turf, it was only laid a few months ago, and it is so lush when it's all mowed. It's like a, I don't know, like a piece of velvet. Beautiful grass, some of the best turf I've ever known. gorgeous. Really nice, and growing so fast, incredibly fast. Right, some questions Dennis has sent in. Hello Dennis. He says, what are my main problems? Oh dear. There's no real main problems. The main stress, well not stress, but sort of frustrations can be late arrivals, or people not letting us know that they're going to be late. No shows cause me a headache, and people that aren't off the pitches by 11 o'clock are really super a super problem. I have this 2-hour window to try and get so much done, and people don't really appreciate that it's a campsite, and you've got no idea that there's people waiting to come onto your pitch in a couple of hours, and then people then can potentially arrive early and things like that. And what the main problems are there? There's no real problems. Things go wrong, things break. We have, I don't know, problems with the showers. The other day, the risers fell off. That has to be fixed. We can get water leaks. We can get taps. In fact, we've not had a tap problem this year so far. People with big tents booking onto little tent pitches, that can cause a problem, and then obviously trying to wiggle room on that. But really, no, we're fairly lucky that we don't really have many regular problems. And he also asked how much time do I spend in the office? To cut that short, as little time as possible. So I just explained on the previous question, I do spend my first couple of hours in the morning, 9 till about 11, hovering around the office area, and all being well, any paperwork that needs to be done is done in that time, including communications with our head office. So obviously we've got people in an office in Birmingham that look after our bookings and things like that. So I try and get all of that all done in the mornings, and then really, unless it's absolutely leathering it down, I'm not really in the office. I tend to be out working, doing things on site. And then occasionally, like right now, funny enough, it's a Sunday afternoon and I'm waiting for 2 people to arrive. And it's sort of like, well, when are you going to get here and things like that. So, yeah, a couple of hours a day, possibly, total working in the office. Or at the end of the month, there is... especially in the busy season, there are other things to do. We need to get paperwork into our head office. And then he also says, if I was poorly or needed to have some time off, could Dan fill in for me? To be absolutely serious, Dan has helped me twice, where I've asked Dan if he can man the office for an hour if I've had to go out and there's like Mark's not here or whatever, but for some reason I physically have been called out for some reason. So to answer your question, yes, he has helped, but would he be able to do it over a period of a long time? The answer is probably not. A bit of a bouncy here, Rasher. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't one of them. Hey, mad dog. So I'd bring you with Rasher as we just go on a 8 o'clock walk. Well, it's just after 8 o'clock. Just watching Country File. All the puddles, all the rain in the last few days. So it's just like looking at our bookings and the rest of the year here at the nurseries. So we've got 3 weekends coming up. Next weekend we're full. The following weekend we've got a couple of free spaces, but by the time that comes it will be full. And the bank holiday weekend full. And then obviously we're soon into September, and everything sort of tails off. Every time I record and Lommy gets to this spot and this happens. Let me just clear this up again. Yeah, but basically 3 weeks and that's it. The season's over. So do a little bit reflecting, and those that have been following this year's journey, getting here late February, and it was cold and all the dark nights, and starting to get the site ready for the season. So I'm just put this poo bag in the dog bin. Hang on. All the car problems I had, wrote 2 cars off in 2 weeks. Who remembers that? Just after Christmas and the New Year, and flying down to Cornwall and over here. And I think, sort of reflecting on things, it's been so nice to come back to the nurseries for a second year. Obviously, I know the campsite now pretty well, how all the infrastructure works, and when things sort of go, come on, Rash, I've got sorry, there's a load of rubble here. It's freaking rushing out a little bit. There was a wagon here the other day bringing out I don't know, something from the farm. But yeah, obviously knowing how all the campsite works now, and fuses if electricity goes, and fuses blow, and all things like that. Rasha, come on, where are you going? This dog is absolutely mental. The other day, was it? Yeah, I think it was Saturday morning, wasn't it? She wouldn't come. She wouldn't have a first walk because it was raining. She was just pulling the lead to come back in. Oh, can hear a kite. Yeah, and then, as I say, watching the season unfold, and dark at 3:30, wasn't it, at the beginning of the year, and not knowing how things were going to happen with the weather and things. But you can't hear what I can hear. But so nice to, as we sort of opened, start to get visitors who joined us and stayed with us last year coming back and going, oh, do you remember us from last year? And then obviously we've had a lot of people from YouTube and everything. Rasha, come on, something's freaking out for Rasha. I don't know what's up. What's up, Rash? Come on, let's go this way. Come on. There you go, she's in the swing. Yeah, so many people come in, and then so many people coming for the second, third, fourth, fifth visit even. And then I'm looking in the booking system that we've got for next year, and already we've got not a lot, but we've got a fair few bookings all in, and all being well, I'll be back next year. So I have been asked to come back next year, and I've sort of tentatively said yes. And then the strange one is that come this time next year, if things go to plan, I'll be living here. Well, I'll be working here and still living in my caravan, but we'll have a property, a bungalow, a house, or something. And this time last year, none of this was on the radar, that we were going to have such a big life change. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. And then it was only, I feel like a couple of weeks ago, I was with Sandra, weren't we, when she was up midsummer, and we were watching the sunset up over here. And 9:30 now, it's pitch black. Just went out last night and it was absolutely pitch black. Right, we're heading back to the campsite. Rasha does not want a walk. I don't. She's just, Rasha, what are you doing? Don't know what's up with this dog. Right, stupid dog. Yeah, and as I say, we're going to get into September, and our bookings really dwindle off. October's very, very quiet, but I have a hunch personally, because July and August so far have been a real washout. All being well, we'll have a nice Indian summer, and September can be quite nice. But it's notably now, you can feel the dark nights sort of slowly creeping in. Yeah, a lot of reflecting. And say 3 weeks, peak season gone, but it's going to be a stressful 3 weeks. I hate Fridays. Fridays are my most stressful day of the year. Oh, there's also possibly, won't share it with you yet, because if I do, it'll go tit-shaped up, but I might have some news on a different car as well coming up, all being well this week, if that comes to fruition. Right, so I think I'm going to write. Oh yeah, so we had another no-show tonight as well, which like really pissed me off. So I looked, it was a booking that was done last night for 1-9. I said to Mark, something a bit strange about this, but whatever. So you're waiting to finish and all the rest of it, and sent a message at 4 o'clock like we do, and 7 o'clock I got a message back. 7 o'clock, yeah, rock on, eh? Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this video off here, because it's primarily just been a bit of a waffle video, hasn't it? Back of the campsite, and yeah, thank you. And new subscribers, you're wonderful. In fact, anybody that's watching this to the end, you're all amazing people.